the love and dedication that your members put into beautifying our city. I know we all see everybody out there working so hard, and to know that they're all volunteers, and you can see it really is a labor of love. So thank you very much.
And people love to get their little certificates. They're beautiful. Yeah, they just love it.
I got mine.
I do too.
Okay, can we have roll call, please?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Haney,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Mayor Simpson.
Yes, and thank you again. Okay, ordinance number 17, amending the charter of 284, Article 9 of the City Code, vehicles and traffic schedules. First and second, please.
Mayor, if I may, before the motion, a comment, because in regard to the new language in section 284-50, as circulated, there was a typo in it.
Well, I was going to say,
Yeah, well, I
if we're going to
wanna-
approve it, we're going to approve it as amended.
Well, but, if
You
we...
just tell me what you...
If we just make note of the fact that that number has been changed, then I don't think we have to amend it, because as introduced,
Okay.
it will be, the typo will be gone. And the typo was in the blocks and side entry, it was 100 south. It should be 300 south. We have made that change, so as introduced, the 300 south is what will be introduced, if that's okay.
Okay,
Okay?
so we're going to introduce it that way, and I need a first and second one. So moved.
Second.
We need a second?
Mhm.
Okay. Any other questions about? Seeing none, can I have roll call, please?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Haney,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Mayor Simpson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, resolution 2019/148, final change order for miscellaneous drainage 2018, improvement and concrete repairs. Need a first and second. So moved.
Second.
Jim, you want to give us an update on miscellaneous? I know what we're talking about, but I want to make sure the public understands.
Yes, Mayor. The long and short of it is, this is a $10,000 net decrease in the Duran Engineering bill that we've had for this miscellaneous concrete repairs and drainage improvement. We've covered the actual repairs many times over. They were items that did not need to be completed and that were moved out, so for a change, our change order is a decrease.
It's a decrease of $10,000.
I think that's the first I've ever seen.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions by council? Hearing none, can I have roll call, please?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Haney,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Reardon,
Well, anytime I can vote on something where it's decreasing money for the taxpayers, like we've decreased the taxes the last 5 years, I will vote yes. Thank you.
Thanks, Donahoe.
Sarah,
Yes.
Mayor Simpson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Resolution 2019-149, construction permit refund. Need a first and second?
So moved.
Second. Any questions? Hearing none, can I have roll call, please?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Haney,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Mayor Simpson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Resolution 2019-150/150, tax exception to the disabled veteran. Need a first and second.
So moved.
Second. Any questions? Hearing none, can I have roll call, please?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Haney,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Sarah,
I think it's great that we're able to do this for our veterans. Yes.
Mayor Simpson.
It's fantastic. Thank you, Vince. And yes.
Motion carried.
Resolution 2019-151, awarding of bid, purchase of rock salt, with Atlantic County Corporation. First and second, please. So moved. Second. Basically, we're just buying rock salt at the county's rate and getting a discount. And
Yeah, it's a cooperative that was founded,
Right.
and the actual vendor's Mid-Atlantic Salt. I don't know if we bought from them before, but it is a substantial savings. It'll go in the new salt building.
No, I was going to ask you about the new salt building. There you go. Any other questions? Hearing none, can I have roll call, please?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Haney,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Mayor Simpson,
Yes.
motion carried.
Resolution 2019-159, awarding the contract of portable toilets. First and second, please. First and second on portable toilets.
So moved on the portable toilet.
Any questions?
Yeah.
I figured you would have to have a question on the portable toilet.
No, I'm genuinely curious. How many toilets are we getting? I see that we're projecting this to come in for the year under the bid threshold. So how many toilets do we get? What do they go for? And what services are entailed in this?
Unfortunately, I don't have the exact number. I'd have to consult with Mr. Doring. He'll be returning to work on Friday. I can tell you that roughly, depending on when and how long, we're paying an average of $936 to $1,100 for each one of these portable toilets. And again, that varies on how long it stays in place, how often they clean it, things like that. So, Councilman, I could follow up with you at a later date once I get the particulars.
I eagerly await that. So just ballpark figures, if it's maybe $1,000 per unit? So
Roughly.
So we are figuring we have less than 40 of them around town?
That sounds about right.
Okay. Thank you.
To a regular contractor, it's like $89 a month, clean. That's once a month. Where's that discount from? Okay, can I have roll call, please?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Haney,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Mayor Simpson,
Yes.
motion carried.
Consent agenda, Riptide, Striper, Bluefish, Derby, request, Bayfet, extended hours request, Landy County surfing, fishing, dirt request, Derby request. First and second, please. So moved.
Second.
Can I have roll call, please?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Haney,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Mayor Simpson,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, we're going to start, go into our council and manager discussion. Anything you have, Jim?
No, sir.
Okay. As usual, I'll start with the prettiest person up here.
We all know how bad the mosquito situation has been, especially out in the golf course area. And I'm very happy to announce that with the help of freeholder Rich Days, we were notified today that spraying will occur around the golf course area on Friday morning, this coming Friday morning, between the hours of 4 and 6 a.m. So if you want to close your windows, if you have your air conditioner off or whatever, close them if you don't want the spray coming in your house. But I'd like to really send out a big thank you to Rich Days and the county freeholders for assisting us in getting this cooperation. They have been horrendous.
You think we should put that on our website?
I was just going to say, we'll put that up on the website, and to clarify, it is going to be from a vehicle, it will not be
Right,
an
and-
aircraft.
It's not
Airborne.
spraying.
Yeah, it won't
like-
be an airdrop, it'll...
Yeah,
it'll be-
Galloway and Port Republic just did aerial spraying. This is on-the-ground spraying.
Correct.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Farmers Market had a great time last weekend for their 50th anniversary of Woodstock. This week is Green Fest. Recycling and reduce, reuse, recycle. It's
All good stuff.
all good stuff.
Okay.
Come on out Saturday morning, 9:30. They've requested for all council people to be there around 9:30 for their opening presentations. Hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Paul?
A report from the Recreation Committee, which I'm a member. The new brochures are out for the fall, so make sure you get a copy. They're available at the senior center or right here in City Hall. A lot of interesting programs going on. Take advantage.
Thank you, Paul. Dennis?
Just our brick and mortar places have been very busy around town, and at the same time, with that being said, I just wanted to say this upcoming weekend, being in Elk, I just wanted to just get the word out to not only everybody that's right here, obviously, but our viewing audience, and spread the word about the Bay Fest, the largest event that the Elks hold every year, 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a beautiful, wonderful cause, that whole 3-day weekend. It just funds so many of the great things that the Elks do, their scholarship program, all the work that they do for veterans, our youth, the handicap, even like, along those lines. This morning, Bernadette Scarduzio was down the beach. A few members of council were here, and I want to let Vince handle some of that. Vince did had the wonderful honors of pushing the handicapped, the water and beach access chair down to the beach with Bernadette, and they're working even towards possibly maybe even funding for another chair. So if you can make it down there, anybody who can make it, great. Other than that, I also just wanted to talk about, just mention that the halfway to St. Patty's Day parade behind the Cove in the 3rd Ward was a nice little success. And as we look forward to when the parade does occur, it'll be a great success, and I'll let Mike talk about the details with that. And finally, the Dancing with Dolphins, another great, wonderful cause with Bob Shelkoff and all the great work that he does with his crew over at One Atlantic. It was just an excellent evening out. Council was well represented at the Dancing with Dolphins event. There was great food, music, and if anybody ever gets a chance to get out there, it's such a just a wonderful thing, and it's just even stop in that Marine Mammal Training Center and to see firsthand the great things that they do. That was also just quite nice. So a nice shout out to all those organizations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Rick?
Thank you, Mayor. Karen, I'm very happy to hear about the mosquito spraying. A little disappointed in the manner of spraying. I was looking forward to chasing it on my bike. But, back in the day.
You can get up in the morning and go follow them.
It explains a lot, though, doesn't it? The other thing I wanted to mention is that a group which came to Brigantine for the first time this year and sponsored an event back in June, the Heart of Surfing people. It's a great group. They offer surfing instruction and a day on the beach for people with special needs and disabilities, younger people. And they loved the experience here in Brigantine, and they had tremendous support and volunteerism from Brigantine people, including a lot of people who work for the city, and the city departments were all wonderful. They are looking to come back for a season-ending event in Brigantine, which would be nice, and they're targeting September 7th to do that. So, from the public's perspective, there's not anything that's required of you, but if you find yourself with some free time and you want to get down to the beach and watch, it's a very heartwarming and gratifying thing to see. Again, that'll be happening on September 7th. It's a Saturday from about 10 till 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Mike? Or Don Ho, I'm sorry.
I guess, speaking about the Elks and Rick's event there, you know, the Elks just had a great event just yesterday. They had a Field of Dreams for some of the special needs children that they've been doing for a long time in collaboration with Captain Joe Fumo from the Fish Finder, and I was down there helping out, and you want to talk about something that warms your heart is seeing those kids get on the boat and go out there for a fishing trip for a couple hours, which they wouldn't be able to do otherwise, and then the Elks provide some hot dogs and hamburgers afterwards. It was just real good. We had the Halfway to St. Patrick's Day parade fundraiser on Friday night, and went well. So we have some good plans for next year's parade, some interesting nominees for Grand Marshal. As you know, we had the New England Patriot fullback as the Grand Marshal, along with some other good people from Brigantine here last year.
Is that the guy with the Eagles beat?
Yeah, that's the guy the Eagles beat.
Okay, I just
The
want to
guy
make sure
from Philadelphia that he's never thought he'd Eagles' victory would come at his expense. You know, we're looking at the Columbus Day Parade, and right now I have someone working on getting several members of a string band to come down and lead the parade. We need someone to lead that Columbus Day Parade. If we can do that, we'll be having a parade. Columbus Day Parade. Well, it's a possibility. You know.
Okay.
I'll have to talk to the committee.
I guess we're not ready for
We'll put her on the short
Well,
list.
you know what, especially since Roxanne, now that you mention it, since she was part of the last 5 tax cuts, that,
Unless you just bought a
Most
house
of
in Brigantine.
well, it's a personal resident,
Unless
yeah.
she's a resident.
So, it's something we'll have to talk about. Other than that,
Can you give us an update on the air show today? I saw you were live there.
the air show was phenomenal over there in Atlantic City. I know a lot of Brigantine people were at the jetty and enjoying it thoroughly over there. The Thunderbirds are absolutely fabulous. It's just amazing what they do and synchronize their flight patterns and all. So it was very, very good over there.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Don.
Okay. That's it.
Deputy Mayor?
I got 2 things. One, I had, since our Superintendent of Public Works isn't here, I had a request. The Tot Lot, which is the playground from, I guess across the street from the Brigantine Links, needs a little repairs. There's a couple sharp, rusty edges that are there, and I had, one of the parents had sent me pictures. I can forward those to you, but if Public Works could take a look at it, that would be appreciated.
Please do.
And then the other thing, too, I really want to thank Karen Geller and the Brigantine Elks. They donated a new-style handicap beach wheelchair, and this chair is absolutely amazing. We've been trying to get the word out about it and have people use it. We have people who come. I talked to the Beach Patrol. They said on average they have about 2 or 3 people a day who come down and use the wheelchairs. And actually, the Elks has been a fantastic partner with the Beach Patrol. I believe they've been donating these beach wheelchairs for over 20 years. Bernadette Scarduzio, who's a huge ADA advocate in the state of New Jersey, she helped us actually when Brigantine first started to get the ADA mats that took from the parking lots and the street ends all the way down to the hard stand. She came down today to help us, and it was really, really great. So thank you to the Elks, and it's a great partnership with the Beach Patrol.
Thank you, Vince.
Great seeing the smile on her face when she got into the ocean.
Well, what's funny is when she first went out, she said, she's like, Vince, she was a little nervous. She didn't know how it was going to go. She's like, I'm only doing this for you. And then after she got through the first 2 waves, she's like, this is the most amazing experience of my life. She said, literally, I have not been in the water like this since I was a child. You know, and she said it brought back so many good memories. So it was just really great to be a part of. I want to thank Dennis and Karen for coming down today, and all of council for their great support for what we've done out on the beach.
Yeah, that was beautiful to see that, absolutely. The smile on her face, and just
And thank you guys.
riding the waves a little bit as the lifeguards are just holding it, just kind of, just getting that
Thank you guys
experience.
for being there this morning. I'm sorry I couldn't make it. Another previous engagement. I just have a couple things. First, Tommy, you're, as the chief of police, for all the nonsense that's been going on in this country, I just want to tell you that me, and I'm sure all these people on council are 100% behind our police officers, our women, and our men of the patrol. It's just disgusting what's going on in this country, but you always know we're here for you. So,
Thank you, Mayor.
And your police force.
Thank you. There's something I wanted to do ever since I became mayor of the town. Our last mayor, our previous mayor, I usually call him the old mayor, and I don't know if we have to do a resolution or whatever. I like to name the community center after Philip J. Gunther. So I don't, to get the ball rolling, I like to I'll second the motion.
ask a voice resolution to whatever we have to do to keep the ball rolling and get a name up on the side of the building, and whatever resolution we have to do if everybody's agreeable. Phil put in 26 years of his life in the Brigantine. He loves Brigantine, and I just think that's the only, that's not should be not the only thing he did. He was a superstar in Hurricane Sandy, after Hurricane Sandy, and he still is a superstar. I look up to him, and I think he's a great man.
We will have the appropriate document for you at the next council meeting.
Okay. Well, let's make sure, is everybody agreeable to that?
Absolutely.
Okay, Fred, you bring it up, we'll bring it up next meeting, and we'll go from there,
Nobody's opposed.
as of right now, until we get a resolution or ordinance, whatever it's coming. So,
Andy, can I make an announcement?
sure.
The True Spirit Coalition and Hand Up Brigantine is having a back-to-school supply giveaway. It's going to be this Monday from 4:30 to 7 at the lobby of City Hall. So any Brigantine families that, may need a little help, obtaining book bags, and we have binders and lunch boxes and notebooks, papers, pencils, any of that. We'll be giving it all to, the local students here. So it'll be Monday from 4:30 to 7 right in the lobby here. And if anybody wants to donate anything, we're still taking donations, so, thank you.
Thank
I
you,
know they
Lynn.
collected at the farmer's market too, so that was much appreciated.
Great,
And
thank
Donna
you.
Van Zandt at the marinas and...
I know
I knew you were
Donna's
going to talk this much. Okay, I want to open up to the public. Anybody wants to come up, talk about anything they want to talk about, is certainly welcome to come up to the microphone and state your name and address, and you got 5 minutes. Mrs. Phillips. Well, we're getting a double shot here, aren't we, today?
Ann H. Phillips, 308 27th Street. This issue has been on the back burner for several years, and at the last meeting, the mayor asked that I wait until the solicitor returns before I bring it up again, and I believe he has done some preliminary work on this issue. And it is the issue of shared services with independent groups using city property in order to clarify and determine the responsibilities, financial accountability, and legal liability of all participants. Now, I think this is a valid issue, and that it should be brought to fruition. And so my question to you is, where do we stand now? Did you all hear that?
Yeah, you're just a little bit,
Yeah, okay,
got a little
so
frog in your throat.
What is,
Phillips.
what's the status of this issue now?
Well, Fred, out of respect for you, we waited for you to come back and answer that question.
Well, we can put together a formal process that will describe how these shared service agreements should be structured. I would anticipate that you would need an independent organization that would enter into an agreement with the municipality. Within that, we would want to talk about the insurance obligations and whatever the funding relationship is, so that it would be shared service. The concept would be that what the organization does is something that the municipality would have to do, but for the organization. So that's where the concept of shared services comes from. And if council wants to go there, we can begin outlining, and from my point of view, it wouldn't be a long process on our end, as to the components that would go into a shared service agreement. My recall, and I was not part of this discussion, is that sometime in years gone by, this issue came out of the city because we were discussing how you support these organizations, and I do not know who, on behalf of the city, communicated with the state, but the shared service agreement, in an informal way, was kicked from the state back to us. That is, it was suggested that this might be a viable way to establish these relationships. I don't think that is a formal state position, but it was some guidance that was received as, and again, it was years ago, I don't remember who the communicator was, but it was communicated, and that was the informal guidance that we got back. If you want to put together a package that is a definition as to how we'd make this work, we can do that, and we can get it back to you, and council can discuss it and see if it works for council.
So, what happens next?
Well,
Well,
he goes and does his research and brings it back to us, and we'll discuss it at an open meeting.
So you're giving guidance to the solicitor as to what you want and what he can do legally?
Well, he's going to bring back what he feels that we would look at, and then we'll discuss it, and we have to change it, we'll change it at that time. Or if you have some input, and it's qualified, and we'll...
So is there a time factor in this in terms of when you expect it?
Well, there's a framework under like Title 40 that we already work under. I mean, you're saying you want something more specific that you'd like? I mean, there is state law that we work under regarding the shared services and parks and volunteer organizations and things of that nature.
Yeah, if I could. Fred, you may just have forgotten this, and I've been talking about this issue for 8 years, so, that's where it originated. But a couple of years ago, Fred, your office had, I'm saying a couple, maybe it was one, but in the past, your office had put together a draft form of shared services agreement, which, as I recall it, was pretty brief, pretty simple, maybe 3 pages long, and seemed to me to cover everything it needed to cover to create a framework for the city to, in being consistent with, the constitutional restrictions that I've been talking about for 8 years, and just good policy, that would have created a mechanism for groups who, as you note, perform various services that the city could otherwise perform in its own name, but you'd rather have these groups do it. But an arrangement by which these groups can be recognized by the city, formally authorized by the city to do whatever it is they do, and to establish whatever is going to be the agreed-upon compensation or method for figuring out the compensation for the services they provide. So you actually had done a lot of that work already, and you weren't present, of course, when the Garden Club met a couple of months back, and as I recall at that meeting, Andy was present, Roxanne was there. I believe in their remarks to the Garden Club, they recognized that in general, we need to have some, this certainly was talked about specifically with reference to the Garden Club, that we needed to have something formal to address the relationship and to create a formal relationship between the city and those groups to which we are, or to whom we are giving money for whatever services. And shared services, again, seems to me the perfect vehicle to do it. We can define, there doesn't have to be an unlimited number of shared service agreements. It's only going to be with those groups who are performing services that the city once performed and the city could otherwise do on its own name. But the bottom line of it all is I think you've already done a lot of this work. If I can track down a copy of what was circulated before, I'll get it back to you. But I think a lot of that's already been done.
Rick, can I, and Mrs. Phillips, what groups specifically or are you recommending that we have the shared services agreements with? What groups specifically?
Well, I know that there are groups that work, for instance, work with the younger population, sports and so on, anything. We have a rowing establishment to a degree, and the Garden Club was just discussed this evening, and you have introduced an ordinance. So there are quite a few groups out there that do use city property and perform certain services, and whether for fees or not. So I think you need to bring them all together and find something that is common among them and protects the city and them. I mean, out there, they should be treated as a group, although they, act in different ways. But I think that it sounds like good management in terms of protecting the city, the taxpayers, and the volunteers.
What problems or issues do you see that we have now with the youth sports groups that you want,
Well, I
more
think there have
control
been some
over that?
problems mentioned in terms of finances, and again, for instance, insurance. All this
Well,
involves
the-
liability
The
for
insurance,
the
the
municipality.
sports groups have their own insurances, I can tell you that.
But they're still using city property. I think it ought to be, you ought to have a clearer picture of what's involved, what they do, and how you're protecting the city as well. So it just seems to make good management sense.
Okay, anything else, Mrs. Phillips? Because Fred's gonna have to go back and do his research and get us something up.
Well,
Don't look around.
council needs, I think, council together needs to work on this and decide what it wants. And maybe you can find some other examples how other cities treat the same situation.
That's why we pay Fred.
Pardon me?
That's why we pay Fred. He's gonna come
Well,
back with it.
that's fine, and then bring it to you, yes.
And then
And
come
one-
back, and then we'll all discuss it,
And one
and
other
it will be
brief item.
part of the open meeting.
Pardon me?
Again, it will be a part of the open meeting. You know,
Yes,
you'll have a chance to
absolutely,
listen
yes,
to it and,
absolutely, it should
and
be.
comment on it and
The
everything
people,
else.
the public should understand what's going on.
Okay.
Certainly, it's
Well,
part of the public. One other item, and somebody mentioned to me, they had been down at the Cove and looked around and saw people either swimming or floating or just walking around in the water at unprotected beaches. The section between the jetty and the Cove itself. And the lifeguards only actually work in a certain area, and these people were in unprotected beach. And there weren't any signs that said, please bathe or whatever, only at a protected beach. I would think that the city would have something up there to alert people to the fact that you do not get in the inlet, which can be dangerous, at an unprotected area. So I'm simply asking you, have you ever considered signs? Evidently there aren't any.
Right now, we're in negotiations with the city manager, myself, and Vince Sarah and Mike Reardon, a.k.a. Don Ho. We are considering putting more lifeguards down there. We talked to our CFO to see how much this is going to cost, and our action plan, how much is that going to cost, and we'll go from there.
But in the meantime, you need to protect the city and everybody else, the taxpayers, from liability. If something happens to somebody and there's no warning, or the city has not taken a public position by signage that says, don't bathe at an unprotected beach.
I think Mr. Cerny would tell you that's not going to work anyway, and, we're all going to get sued, and and I certainly don't want nobody to get hurt or anything like that. I think our lifeguards do a pretty good job, especially since I've been walking down the jetty beach and everything like that, and they're not supposed to be in there because that's actually the surfing beach.
I mean, and this isn't a question of whether you want more lifeguards and what it would cost and so on. It's a question of having something up there that says,
Well,
which you have.
everything we do has to be
Don't bathe.
calculated out,
Okay, thank
You just don't throw money at and not have a plan or a result to it.
And just one other thing while I'm up here.
Sure.
I realize that was just an introduction tonight concerning the garden club, and the actual public hearing will be in 2 weeks. But in the meantime, I would urge you to look at the wording in this ordinance, the legal wording, and the power to whom is given to plan, maintain, and organize. It's not the garden club. It's to an advisory committee. Advisory committees don't usually have such powers. So if you put the language in there but don't intend to follow it, then I think you're doing a disservice to everybody. You have language in there that puts powers in the hands of this committee, and it's supposed to be advisory only. Well, it's not according to this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Phillips. Anybody else from the public would like to come up? She was up for... Quick and dirty?
The 239 12th Street South. I just wanted to add that, just to jog your memories, we're very happy with the insurance provision, because apparently the Garden Club has been operating for close to 38 years without any insurance whatsoever, and we can only thank the Lord that nobody has been hurt during that period.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Jennifer LaBoy, and I live at 235 8th Street North. I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time or place or not, but I'm requesting a no parking sign in our front yard because people keep parking in front of our driveway.
In front of the driveway itself?
They block the driveway. We've had to call the police and have them ticketed most every weekend.
I think-
Even if the cars...
I think most people should understand they can't park in front of a driveway.
Well, you would think. So I don't know if we could maybe paint the curb yellow right there or
Okay.
put a sign up or something.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what the steps are for me to...
I just sent, 2 minutes ago, I sent you an email.
Oh, you did? Okay.
In response to your email to me.
Okay.
I was gonna go by and talk, and I would see, Jimmy Bennett tomorrow and see what we could do.
Okay.
While you're here, let's talk to the police chief.
Yeah, I was going to say before you leave.
I mean,
Wayne-
they've been very kind, and they've
Yeah,
come out
and
several,
Tom- and
many
Tom will
times.
direct you who he, you know, who you should talk to
And they've done the
in the
best...
police department.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
What's your address again?
235 8th Street North. You know...
Paul's your council person, so.
Right. I did email you today, but I just figured I'd come by anyway, just since I
Okay.
hadn't heard from you yet, so I wasn't sure what... the
Great,
process
we should be
was,
able to
so.
take care of that. That
Okay,
shouldn't
thank
be a
you.
problem.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Coach Joe, Frankie D? Bye. Seeing nobody else, I'm going to close the public portion. I'm going to need a motion to adjourn. So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Well, thank you for attending it tonight. It was a very good meeting, good stuff going on in Brigantine. Not a lot of problems, a lot of good stuff going on. So, thank you for watching us, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care. Where you want to go? There's Queen. To the cellar? Cellar.
Oh, thank you.
Let me see it.